Okay, so let's get started. So today is last day of CakeFest this year, and I think it's going to success now. So how is your feeling? So, some.
Do you want to start?
Um, it's been a conference from the beginning, organised from scratch. We haven't had a lot to go from in terms of sponsors and community to sort of help out and team. We're all very new to it. So the response we've had has been huge, and I think the feedback that we've had is extremely positive. So that for me is an indication of what's coming for future CakeFests and how the community overall is interested in these particular conferences.
Yeah, so I think CakePHP community is really internationalized community. So what's the key value or technique to, yeah, so how did you make such a big community?
I don't know. I think a few things that have been really helpful for reaching out to international communities is being able to let them have some autonomy, like let them kind of manage the documentation that they need, like to do the translations. And I think empowering users to be able to help their local communities, like you've done and like Ishikawa-san has done, is really great. Like just last night we found a community of Iranian CakePHP developers, and we had no idea. And it's just giving people the tools they need to be able to do the work that they do, because we're only like 4 or 5 people. So having people in other communities adopt things and get excited about what we're doing and give back as well. Like the Japanese community and the French community and the German community have all been really involved. So as to how to make a community international, I don't think you can force it. I think it kind of has to happen on its own, and giving people the ability to feel like they're doing something is a huge part of it.
Yeah, so I think it's going to success too.
Yeah. I think it's been really successful so far, and I hope it just grows.
So, yeah, as far as I know, you became a lead developer. So, what did change after you became the lead developer?
I did a lot more work. I don't think there wasn't very many process changes. Like there wasn't anything really broken with the old system. The only thing that was really broken was in tickets asking for test cases, which I don't think is a fair burden to put on people. I think if they can just give like reproducible ways to show an error, that's probably.
I think that just the fact of producing tickets, of a person that writes a ticket and tells, hey, something is not working, it's enough. Because most people would notice a bug and say, this is crap, and won't give back to the community. So the sole fact of writing a ticket is enough. If they can provide test cases, it would be awesome. But I think just the fact of writing them is cool for us.
So, how many hours do you spend for the CakePHP per week? So, each person.
I think they speak a whole week.
It depends on what we're doing, in particular around this event. I've not been doing regular work. It's been organising this event, and that's been for a number of months. So depending on what you're doing, we all have regular jobs. Whether or not our employers let us spend that time on CakePHP is one matter. But I know Mark spends a lot of his personal time on the code.
Yeah, so I do about 10 to 15 hours a week. And I do that in the evenings and on my lunch. So I'll go in at lunch and organize tickets, and in the evening I'll write patches for tickets and try and build out new features and try and write documentation for new features so people know what the hell I'm thinking.
So is the ticket is key feature to success the open source?
I think having a place where people can interact. So I think for me, the IRC is a big part. The Google groups are a good part. Like giving people multiple ways to get involved.
Multiple channels to get back to us.
Everyone communicates in a different way, and providing those a limited amount of channels to communicate with, but a diverse enough set that people are comfortable communicating in whatever format they like.
So mainly are you discussing on IRC and communicating with users on the ticket system?
For me, primarily it's IRC and through tickets. I'd like to be more involved with the Google groups, but I just haven't had the time.
I'm pretty active in the Google groups for the Spanish community, and sometimes this community has found bugs, but they don't know how to file a ticket. So I guide them to the process of creating them, and maybe write tests and patches for it. So yeah, I think having multiple channels of communication that adapt to one people or maybe not. I had a time that I couldn't connect to IRC, but I was pretty active in Google groups and in filing tickets. So I think key to success in open source is having multiple channels of communication.
Yes, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, so I'm changing the area. So yeah, so what is current? So what are you focusing on the technical topic? So what's coming next in CakePHP?
Basically, we're doing a refactor of what we have without trying to do much, to break too much things. But what we are doing is organizing the code and separating each object responsibility so you can extend the core more easily. And we're trying to give a sense of futureness, if that's a word, to the framework. So when we can adopt the 5.3 or more version of PHP, it would be easier for users and they will be more adapted to these new techniques.
Yeah, I think currently my focus is fixing a lot of the workarounds we have in CakePHP. There are a few, and most people know about them, and just trying to find those and try and reimagine parts of them. Like, how do we want this to work now that we don't have to have it work the way it used to work? Like, if we want to change this piece, how should it work? Like, what's the most ideal way that we can get it to work, given the time and given the time that we have. That's kind of been my focus. So I've been focusing on a few pieces that personally have really bothered me when I'm working on applications. So things I found hard to extend, I want to make them easier to extend. So the next time I have to do it, it's not so hard. And I really want to get some feedback from people in the community who have had troubles extending things. And if we can find out where people are having trouble, then hopefully we can make it easier for them to extend things when they're working with future versions.
Yeah, and so Graham, you did present about CakePHP 2.0 in your talk. So yeah, I think that's not short-term goal. So
it's you could assign a whole day to it, and the reason is that there are so many things we could do, so many things we would want to do, that there are some things we haven't decided on. And within the team, I guess there's concepts and ideas that we don't agree on, and that's a good thing. We're looking at other frameworks and what they're doing to look for. We don't have all the ideas, so we're looking for inspiration and external intelligence, I guess, and see what other people are doing. And the talk was brief to give an overview of the major changes. PHP unit was one that a lot of people are interested in. We're interested in. Mark's a little too interested in. Way too excited about it. It's a very extensive topic, and something we've been meaning to discuss and get to the bottom of is what feature set do we lock down for our next release? When do we decide to lock it down, and what do those features? What are those features?
do you have any particular your favorite feature or area in 2.0?
2.0 for me, it's removing the workarounds that were there for PHP 4. It brings with it a whole lot of optimization and customization and possibilities. So that that process means we're going through a lot more code that we previously would not have touched. And that's something that's not been done in a long time with the core. It gives us a good chance to go over it and give it a refresh.
So it means that CakePHP is going to do more clear and smart framework.
I hope it will, yeah. My focus right now is trying to decouple the framework so you can inject classes or dependencies, even for testing or creating your own implementation of any class into the framework. So I think that right now CakePHP is too coupled, and every class is depends in somehow to another class, and this has been bothering me in my own application. So I've been focusing into extracting logic into more cohesive classes.
Yeah, I think I think what Jose said is a lot of what I'm doing as well. Finding places where we can extract pieces and make them so people can switch out pieces easier. Because we've all run into problems where some of the cohesion is a little too high. Not cohesion, some of the coupling is a little too tight, and you wish you could do something, but instead you just have to work around it. So hopefully we'll get to a place where there's less workarounds. That's my goal.
Yeah, that would be great.
It would.
And hopefully it would be faster too, because with the switch to PHP 5 only and removing all those workarounds and using more advanced techniques like lazy loading, it will actually be faster. Mark did a simple benchmark. It was
Yeah, I just ran Siege.
yeah, using Siege yesterday or the day before, and we saw like a 30% increase of performance to what we got to the moment on a simple baked application.
Yeah, so we will excite about when the faster and smaller and more beautiful CakePHP will come to us. So.
It's like a better RoboCop.
Yeah, so I hope we will meet again in Japan or somewhere. So yeah, I definitely attend next CakeFest.
We're happy to have you every
Yeah,
time.
Definitely.
So yeah, so thanks so much.
Thank you.
thank you too.
Okay.